What is earnest money? Hey, Jeannie Steele here with Steele Realty, and if you're looking for real property in western Montana, Broadwater County, Lewis and Clark County, Jefferson County, Silver Bow County, and Marr County, we have you covered. In this video today, we're going to discuss just exactly what is earnest money. Earnest money is a deposit made to a seller that represents a buyer's good faith to make a purchase. This money is an important part of real estate transactions. It's essentially like a down payment when you make an offer on a real estate. Earnest money seals the deal and demonstrates your commitment to buying the property. The deposit usually amounts between 1 and 10% of the sales price for most of the home purchases in the United States. Earnest money is a good faith deposit to the seller for taking their home off the market while you move forward with the purchasing process. For example, if you're purchasing a home for $400,000, you're going to put some earnest money. 1% is $4,000. It's a good faith deposit in order for the seller to take the house off the market and work with you. Earnest money is refundable if you cancel during your due diligence. If you do not know what due diligence is, I've also done a video about that, and I've left a link up here so you can watch it later. You're going to want to do all of your due diligence as soon as the property goes under contract. The very first thing you're going to want to do is get your earnest money deposited to the title company within the allotted amount of days. Excuse it, somebody just walked in. The next thing you're going to want to do is double check and make sure that there is no leased or rented personal property that you're not aware of. And then you're going to want to get your buy-sell to your lender and get your loan application process started. The next thing you're going to want to do is schedule your inspection. Now you can expect anything that you want. Here are some ideas of things that you may want to inspect. The homeowner's property disclosure statement, the roof, a structural inspection, a foundation inspection, an electrical inspection, a plumbing inspection. You can have a radon test if you choose to. You can get accounting advice. You can check on access to the property and make sure it has legal access. You can do a verification on the number of code-compliant bedrooms. You can check into water rights. Truthfully, you can inspect anything until your heart is content. You can also check out the neighborhood, drive around at different times of the day, check it out in the morning, check it out in the evening. You can look into the HOA, the Homeowners Association. If you choose to cancel or terminate the contract during this time for any reason that you find of things that are not acceptable to you, you can get your earnest money back. It is refundable as long as you are within the contract. So let's say you did your home inspection and you found some items that you were not happy with. You can ask the seller to fix them or to compensate you for them. If the seller is unagreeable and you decide to cancel during this time, you will get your earnest money back. But if you remove the inspection contingency or you blow past the date, you cannot terminate the contract for the inspection without forfeiting your earnest money. The next contingency is your finance contingency. The finance contingency pretty much goes all the way to the close of contract in Montana. So unless you remove your finance contingency, you can cancel up to close and not forfeit your earnest money if, in fact, the reason you're terminating is because of financing. Why would you terminate because of financing? Well, it could be possible that the lender would not approve your loan, or that there could have been a gargantuan rate hike in the process of buying the home and you can no longer afford your payments. Or perhaps you could lose your job, or something could happen that would affect your financing and make the payment that it's just not acceptable anymore. Then you could cancel and you could get your earnest money back as long as you cancel prior to the expiration of the finance contingency date. The next contingency is your appraisal contingency. The appraiser will go out and review the property and he will make comparisons to similar properties. When he returns the appraisal back to the bank, as long as the property has appraised for the purchase price or more, then you are good to go. If the property does not appraise for the contract price, then you could have a conversation with the seller and ask if they're going to lower the price or how you're going to do it. If they're not going to negotiate with you, you can cancel or terminate and get your money back. The next contingency is a title contingency. The title contingency consists of you getting preliminary title commitment from the title company. They will go through all the recorded records. Some title companies go all the way back to the beginning as far as they possibly can. Other title companies only go back 30 or 40 years. What you're looking for on the title commitment is to see if there are any liens or judgments, something that would make the title have a cloud. If the title has a cloud, you can negotiate with the seller and see if you can have it repaired or removed, or you can cancel or terminate the contract, and you would get your earnest money back. The insurance contingency is just a matter of you calling an insurance company or several insurance companies and comparing rates and terms and making sure that you can get the amount of insurance with the coverage that you want on the home at a price that is acceptable to you. You do not have to purchase the insurance or get a binder at this time. You're just making sure that the rates and terms are acceptable. Now, if you have gotten to the point where you have gone through all of these steps, everything is good to go, the appraisal made value, negotiated or settled on the inspection, the lender has given you the clear to close. At this point, if you cancel or terminate the contract, the seller may be entitled to the earnest money. Once you have gotten to this point, all the contingencies have been lifted, and you can't just change your mind to not go forward with the purchase. For instance, let's say a new house came on the market and it is your dream house. You love this home, and you want to cancel this contract to make an offer on that home. You would be in breach of contract. The seller would be entitled to the earnest money as damages. The more money that you can put down as earnest money, the more it shows how serious of a buyer you are. But it also puts you at risk for losing more money, should you ever be in breach of the contract. Now, if you're working with a real estate agent who is representing you, they should be tracking all these dates, and so that they would never put your earnest money in jeopardy. You don't want to lose your earnest money. I would never get my clients in jeopardy of losing their earnest money. If you're moving ahead and you've come through your inspection, you've gone through your finance contingency, we've gone through the appraisal, I'm going to make sure that you are 100% positive about moving ahead, because if you do and then you terminate the contract beyond that point, once the inspections have been lifted, you are at risk of losing your earnest money. So hopefully you'll be working with an agent that has your best interest at heart and is guiding you through the process and keeping track of all your dates. Here is a recap of the contingencies on the Montana State buy-sell. Number one, you're going to get the earnest money to the title company within a specific number of days. Number two, you're going to get your buy-sell to your lender so that your loan application can be started. Number three, you're going to have the property inspection complete. And if you give notice to the seller of items that or conditions that you cannot live with, then you will negotiate those repairs, the seller, and that has to be completed by the resolution date. Number four, the next contingency is your finance contingency. Number five is your appraisal contingency. As long as the property appraises for the purchase price or more, you're good to go. Number six is your title contingency. Number seven is your insurance contingency. I personally like to have the insurance contingency lifted within the first week of the contract. It's not a big deal. It's just making phone calls to find that you can get rates and terms acceptable. If you have gotten to this point, you have cleared all your contingencies, the inspection is done and satisfied, the lender has given you the green light to close, the title is free and clear of all liens and clouds, the property has appraised for the purchase price or hopefully more. At this point, you are moving full steam ahead to closing. When you go to the closing table, your earnest money is applied toward your buyer's closing costs. The earnest money or closing costs are not in addition to the closing, but it's a part of your closing costs. Your lender says that your closing costs are to be $8,700, and you have already put $4,000 in earnest money. You will be required to bring $4,700 to the closing table. Once you take your earnest money to the title company, whether you bring them a cashier's check, or you wire the funds, the title company will deposit that money immediately into their trust account. You're going to want to make sure that you have money in your checking account so that your check doesn't bounce. Well, There you have it. Now you know what earnest money is. If this is your first time buying a home, I also have done videos on purchasing your very first home. If you have any questions, I would be happy to help. You can reach me by text, email, or phone. Jeannie Steele with J Steele Realty, your real estate professional.